Straight after filming that one, we've got to film this one. The co-main event for Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura, UFC 310. Let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and follow and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload. I almost forgot to mention we will be live for UFC 310 this Saturday, so be there, and I will see you in a bit. Enjoy the rest of the video. Let's go. For your co-main event, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Machado Garry. Garry is 15-0. His country is Ireland. He stands at 6 foot 3 inches tall. He weighed at 170 pounds on the dot in his previous weigh-in. Has a reach of 74.5 inches and a leg reach of 42 inches. While Shavkat, on the other hand, is 18-0. His country is Uzbekistan. He stands at 6 foot 1 inches tall. He weighed at 170 pounds on the dot as well. In his previous weigh-in, has a reach of 77 inches and a leg reach of 42 inches. Shavkat Rakhmonov has a 2.5 inch reach advantage. They both have the same leg reach. Garry has a 2 inch height advantage. Again, I don't really care for the height advantage because if Garry had the reach and the height, fair enough, it'd be a little bit difficult. But Shavkat can just use his jab. Even if he can just jab to the body or work the backhand in there, it doesn't really matter how tall Garry is because Garry doesn't have the reach. He's only got the height. I believe having a height advantage with a reach disadvantage is just a complete disadvantage because you can't really do much to get out of the way of them strikes. It's going to be a lot harder for you to get out of the way than it would be for Shavkat, because Shavkat can be, if he's a lot quicker, which I do believe Shavkat is quicker than Garry, it could be a very long night for Garry. And because Shavkat has the reach, he can control the pace. He can dictate how fast it goes and how he can get on the inside and get the takedowns if he needs to. But let's move on to win buys to see how they've got it done in their previous fights. With Shavkat Rakhmonov having a 44% KO TKO, 56% submission, 0% decision. He is a finisher. He has an average fight time sitting at 8 minutes and a knockdown average of 0. While Machado Garry, on the other hand, has a 47% KO TKO, 7% submission, 47% decision, with an average fight time sitting around 12 minutes and a knockdown average of 1. Shavkat is such a dangerous opponent in all aspects. On the feet, in the grappling, he hasn't had a single decision win. Out of 18 wins, not a single one of them has gone to a decision. He has never lost, and he's stopped all of his opponents. Garry, on the other hand, hasn't stopped all of his opponents. He is also undefeated, but he has less wins. Shavkat is going in with more experience, and with him having a higher submission average than his knockouts, than Garry's knockouts, than Garry's submissions, than Garry's decision, leans me into the fact Shavkat is going to be very, very deadly if this goes down. Now, I believe that Garry should probably keep this on the feet. Basing off of these stats, keep it on the feet. And Shavkat, I believe that Shavkat, it depends on if Shavkat wants to start quick and fast, he can control the pace, take control, and win on the feet. But I believe that Garry might have that edge over him where he can take control. He can control the pace on the feet. But I believe if Shavkat gets in close, he can get the takedowns and he can go for a submission or even control time and get a decision win. I don't think this will be a decision win for either guy in this fight. I think Shavkat might finish Garry in this one. But let's move on to significant strikes to see how they performed on the feet in their previous fights. With Garry having an average of 6 punches landed per minute, a 55% significant strikes percentage, he absorbed an average of 3 punches and a defense of 52%. While Shavkat Rakhmonov, on the other hand, has an average of 4 punches landed per minute, 61% significant strikes, an average of 2 punches absorbed per minute with a defense of 51%. So based off their last fight, Garry had a little bit of a better performance. Garry had the better output and landing per minute. He had a bit of a worse significant strike percentage compared to Shavkat's shorter amount of strikes. Garry absorbed a bit more and his defense was 1% better. So when it comes to defense, I expect Shavkat's defense to be fairly good, but I'm going to say average. It's going to be average. That defense will be average. But Garry, I'm expecting it to also be a bit average too. So it's whoever really starts first. On the feet, it's whoever starts first. Shavkat didn't absorb much. Now, I'm assuming his opponent didn't throw too much because you see that he absorbed only 2.41 with a 51% defense, while Garry's opponent threw 3.17, that landed at least, with a 52% defense. So both their opponents didn't have a massive amount of output, but they absorbed quite a bit compared to the output. Garry and Shavkat, though, had fairly good output compared to their last opponents, especially with the landing, but Shavkat landed more significant strikes within his shorter amount of punches than Garry did. I believe that Garry might be the quicker fighter on the feet. Like he's gonna start quick. He wants to start quick. I believe that he should start quick compared to Shavkat, but not too quick where he cuts down the range and doesn't realize he's cut down the range. He needs to start with a jab. He's got to just flick things out there. He hasn't really got to throw with significant strikes. He just needs to flick things out there, land on the target, work his range, and then start landing those significant strikes. Shavkat can just start very quick, get on the inside, cut angles, cut range, and get it down. But let's move on to grappling to see how they performed in the grappling in their previous fights. With Shavkat Rakhmonov having an average of 1 takedown, 29% takedown accuracy, 100% takedown defense, and a submission average of 2, while Machado Garry, on the other hand, had an average of 1 takedown, 55% takedown accuracy, 69% takedown defense, with a submission average of 0. I'm a little bit bummed by Shavkat's takedown accuracy, but his opponent must have had some fairly good takedown defense, but he did still get quite a few takedowns and did very well with that. His takedown defense was perfect, 100%. He had the amount of takedowns that he got is also the amount of submissions he attempted. So with each takedown, he attempted a submission, which makes him deadly already because he can get the takedowns and go for a submission quite quick. But Garry had a little bit worse of a submission average, so he can get the opponents down, but he can't get in the position to get the submission set up and ready before they get back up to the feet. Now, Garry's takedown defense is very good. His takedown accuracy in his last fight was very good, which kind of leads me towards, okay, Garry could possibly get Shavkat down at least once, but I believe if Shavkat gets it down or can flip the script and take over the fight and change positions, Garry's going to struggle on the ground. I think Garry should try and keep it on the feet, but he needs to keep the range. I know he can't really keep a range because Shavkat has the longer reach, but I think Garry could do very well at defending Shavkat's takedowns, but I still think Shavkat is a very dangerous opponent in this one. This is just my thoughts and my opinions. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins and how do you think to win? Apart from that, I'll catch you in a bit. Take care and peace.